or have made any kind of observations. These are just informal responses to what your preconceptions may be. So how can I define or describe it? What are the chief qualities of the group or of the people? Yeah, okay, yeah. Whom do you associate the group with, perhaps? What is the group's purpose or their function? How does it compare with other groups? Other, I guess, similar groups. And then also think about your, your expectations about the subject. So, what do you assume will be interesting to you and your readers? What do you hope to learn about it? What kinds of values does your group reflect? That's usually important. Okay, so you have so you've made your list. You've chosen one to explore. You figure that you've got enough time to do these things. It seems like you can get the permission and take on the right role. You answer these questions, and you're still interested. And then so you can decide whether or not you want to proceed with this subject. After you go through this process, if you find that you're really not that into it, then you go back to your list and pick something else. So after reviewing all the possible subjects, do you still feel like you've made the best choice? Or does another subject seem more promising? Are you still curious about the subject? Are you somewhat confident that you can make this subject interesting for your readers? And of course, do you believe that you can research the subject sufficiently in the time that you have? Alright, so you can get to that point and still say yes, yes, yes. Then you want to go for it and start planning your research. So that's the next thing, I suppose, is planning your research. A lot of advice asks you to make some kind of research schedule, and I think that's very valuable. Creating a tentative schedule for your observations, interviews, and background research. You might want to use, some kind of chart that you can update as you go along. You can use the syllabus kind of as that chart. I've laid out the big weekly deadlines. You should know your topic by the end of this week, rough draft by the end of the following week, and then your final draft the week after that, so in 3 weeks. So those are the big milestones for you, but within those, make sure that you schedule the observations, interviews, and your research in time to accomplish those weekly tasks. So let's go ahead and talk about the research. The first thing, I guess, that comes to mind that you're going to be writing a lot about are your observations. So, when you are making observations about this group that you are writing about, make sure that you are prepared. Make sure you got your paper, pen, any other necessary devices, laptop, or some kind of recorder, perhaps, if you're going to record an interview at that time. Maybe even a camera, perhaps, if that's okay that you take pictures. And of course, the most important thing about observations is take notes. Use all of your senses. Sight, hearing, smell, taste, touch, all of your senses. So as you're taking notes, you can describe the place from multiple vantage points, not just from the front door I suppose, or from where you're sitting. But note, furnishings, decor. You can even sketch the layout. That sometimes works. Describe people's appearances, their dress, gestures, actions. Don't invade people's privacy, but note what is happening, who does what, how people seem to feel, I suppose, as things are going on within this group. Make some kind of record of overheard conversations within the group, and then of course, excuse me. Note your reactions, insights, ideas in relation to your preconceptions and expectations that you wrote about earlier. I expected this, but this is what has really happened. That'll help you create a nice, unique perspective for your essay. Let's see. Something else in your observations is you want to collect visuals, because that's kind of part of the whole communication aspect of it all. So look for. You can look for artifacts, photographs, things like that you're allowed to take. So, for example, brochures, other written material that is available to you. Again, consider taking photos. If it's okay, make sure you ask for permission, please. If you can, take a pan shot, a 360 degree view, if it's possible, from side to side, or some kind of tracking shot, perhaps, if you're going to make a digital thing. And then after, so those are the big things. And again, you can see all the other kinds of questions to help guide the notes that you're going to be taking, and the kinds of photos, the kinds of artifacts you want to keep up with. Look again at the assignment description there on Blackboard, and that'll give you some more specific ideas of what to look for. Then you want to reflect soon on your observations. I recommend as soon as your visit is over, as soon as you get back home or to a coffee shop or whatever it is, as soon as your visit is over, think about what you have observed. And write a few sentences on your impressions. What seems most interesting now? How did your visit, I guess, confirm or change your preconception? What is your dominant impression, perhaps, of the place or of the group? You want to do this soon. You don't want to sleep on it, because you want to capture these things that stick out to you the most. That makes for more vibrant ethnographic writing, more interesting, and it really seems to capture your perspective better. So I recommend do that soon, as soon as you can after your visit or your interview or whatever it is. So reflect, and then write out your observations. Compose a few paragraphs on your visit. These will help to shape your rough draft that you'll be submitting next week. So you write up your observations relatively soon. This might produce language you can use in the drafts. It'll certainly help you think about how you want to describe your subject, what impression that you want to create, the perspective that you want your ethnography to take.